Welcome to Domain-Driven Design Essentials. Today, we're tackling a really important idea for keeping software manageable as it grows, bounded contexts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about building software for, well, any kind of business,
Hmm.
really. You pretty quickly see that the words people use, they might use the same term, say, lead, in different departments, but it can mean quite different things.
Right, and that causes all sorts of confusion when you're trying to build the software to support everyone. Leads to real tangles.
Exactly. Leads to big problems down the line.
And our goal today is to sort of break down this problem and show how bounded contexts offer a really smart way to deal with it. We're going to explore what they are, why they're so useful, and how they help you create software that actually fits what the business needs.
Sounds good.
So we've got this challenge, the language being used differently across the business. How do bounded contexts actually help us?
Well, the core idea is that we make a conscious decision. It's a design choice, really. We decide to create boundaries within our software.
Boundaries, okay.
And inside these boundaries, a specific business term or concept, it has one very clear, unambiguous meaning. It's like we're saying, okay, within this defined area, when we talk about a customer, this is exactly what we mean. No confusion.
Ah, so it's about drawing a firm line, saying this word means this here and maybe something else over there.
Precisely. Think about a map. You could have a huge world map, right?
Yeah.
Or you could have a map, just the subway system in one city. Now, both represent the Earth, technically.
Sure, in very different ways, though.
Exactly. Very different purposes, very different levels of detail. Neither one is a perfect, exact copy of reality, but each is incredibly useful for its specific purpose within its context.
That's a great analogy. So in the same way, different bounded contexts inside a software system can model the same real-world thing, like, say, a product.
Yeah.
They can model it in totally different ways depending on what that particular part of the system actually needs to know about the product.
You've got it. And here's where it gets really crucial. Businesses, as we said, they often use the same words across different teams. But those terms might carry different weight, different details, different implications, depending on who you're talking to.
Right. The sales team's product might be different from the warehouse team's product.
Exactly. And if you try to build one single software model,
Right.
one monster model
Yeah.
that tries to handle all those variations, you often end up with something that's just, well, overly complicated. And it doesn't really do any one job particularly well. It's that classic jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Trying to make one thing fit everyone usually means it doesn't fit anyone perfectly. It just creates friction, makes the system fragile.
It really does. So bounded contexts allow us to have these different models for the same underlying business idea. And each model is completely valid, makes perfect sense, but only within its own defined boundary.
Okay, so it helps keep things clear and focused within each specific area. What other big reasons make this approach so important? Why should we really care about this?
Well, a huge benefit is that by setting up these clear boundaries and making sure everyone inside agrees on the meaning of terms, it leads to a much clearer, much more accurate software model for that specific bit of the business.
So better understanding.
Better understanding, absolutely. Everyone involved in that context, the developers, the business folks, they're all on the same page about the core concepts. They share the same language for that domain.
Which must mean the software you build is more likely to actually reflect how that part of the business really operates.
Precisely. It directly impacts the quality and accuracy of the software for that purpose.
Right.
And there's another really valuable aspect. The models within different bounded contexts can often be developed and, importantly, evolve more independently.
Ah, so teams can work separately.
To a large degree, yes. Different teams can work on their specific bounded context without being constantly tripped up by or tightly tied to the internal details of other parts of the system.
That sounds like a huge win for productivity. It could really speed things up and let teams manage their own piece of the puzzle more easily, right?
It definitely offers that advantage, that autonomy. Now, of course, these contexts don't usually live in complete isolation. They often need ways to communicate or exchange information.
Okay, so they're independent, but not totally cut off.
Right. There usually need to be defined ways for them to interact. But the key is that the internal model is protected within its boundary.
Okay, let's make this more concrete. How does this play out in a real-world example?
Sure. Let's imagine a company that sells online courses. Think about their marketing team. For them, a student might just be someone who signed up for a newsletter, maybe downloaded the free guide, they've got basic contact info, maybe tracked some initial interest.
Okay, so fairly lightweight, a potential customer, really, a lead, maybe.
Exactly. More like a prospect. Now, think about the support team in that same company. What's a student to them?
Oh, totally different, I'd imagine. Someone actually enrolled, paying, watching videos, submitting assignments, asking for help.
Right. For support, a student is a much more complex idea. They need to know about active enrollments, course progress, maybe payment history, support ticket history, lots of detail.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to mix those two definitions up.
Absolutely not. And if you tried to force both those perspectives into one single student software model, it would be a nightmare.
How so?
Well, the model would become incredibly complex. The marketing part wouldn't need all that detailed course progress stuff. It'd just be noise. And the support part wouldn't have nearly enough context if all they had was the basic contact info from marketing. Neither team gets what they really need.
I see the problem clearly now. So, bounded contexts. How would they fix this student situation?
Simple, really. You'd create separate bounded contexts, one for marketing, one for support, perhaps, and each context would have its own student model. Marketing's model would be simpler, focused on engagement, contact details, lead status. Support's model would be richer, containing enrollment details, progress tracking, support interactions, maybe links to billing.
So, two distinct models, both called student, but representing the same real-world person differently, tailored specifically for the job each context needs to do.
Exactly. Tailored is the perfect word. Each is optimized for its specific task.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having different camera lenses, maybe. One wide angle for the big picture, one zoom for the details, both looking at the same scene.
That's another good way to think about it. Or imagine your moving house. You've got a big fridge, right?
Okay, yeah.
Always tricky.
And you need to know if it'll fit through the kitchen doorway. What do? You probably grab a tape measure, yeah.
Yep, measure the fridge width, measure the door width.
Right. That tape measure, those measurements, that's a simple model of the fridge's dimensions. It's specifically for the context of the doorway. Does it fit, yes or no?
Makes sense.
You wouldn't expect that tape measure to tell you how heavy the fridge is or what color it is or if it's energy efficient, would you?
No, of course not. Different questions, different tools needed. Exactly. For weight, you might need a scale, or maybe just try lifting a different context, different model, different tool. For color, you just look at another context.
Ah, I get it. So the tape measure is a perfect, simple model within the context of will it fit through the door? You don't need the weight for that specific problem.
Precisely. And it's the same in software. The marketing context only needs certain aspects of the student. The support context needs other aspects. Each model is optimized for its own bounded context.
Okay, this is really clicking now. It feels like a very practical way to manage complexity. So pulling it all together, what are the main things we absolutely need to remember about bounded contexts?
I think the key thing is that they're a strategic design tool. A conscious choice we make to divide up a complex business world into more manageable software parts. There are these intentionally defined boundaries, and inside them, the meaning of our business terms is kept clear, consistent, and unambiguous.
Right. And they're not just some abstract idea. They're really crucial for sorting out those messy situations where the same words mean different things across a business. And they also help teams work more effectively, more independently on their own piece of the system.
Exactly right. They help resolve conflict, improve clarity, and enable that independent development we talked about.
So maybe a good exercise for listeners is to think about the systems they work on, or even just businesses they understand. Are there places where the same terms cause confusion? Or where maybe one part of the software feels like it's trying to do way too much, juggling too many different meanings?
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Those could be prime candidates where applying this idea of bounded context could really bring clarity and lead to a much better design. Cut through the noise.
This has been incredibly helpful. We've really only scratched the surface of bounded context today, but I hope everyone listening now has a much clearer understanding of this really fundamental concept in domain-driven design.
It really is foundational for tackling complexity.
This whole idea, creating clear boundaries, building focused models, it's just so important for any significant software project, isn't it?
Couldn't agree more. So yeah, we definitely encourage you to think about those natural divisions, those seams within the business areas you deal with. How could you define clearer, more focused models within those kinds of boundaries? What would that look like?
Great food for thought. Join us next time on Domain-Driven Design Essentials as we delve into another key principle for building effective software that truly meets the needs of the business.